welcome to Find Your Flow. I'm Natalie and I'm going to be guiding you through this practice today to find your center. So we're going to be connecting to our deep abdominal muscles as well as moving in a way, of course, that feels good, finding a bit of space, testing our balance a little bit, which is always a fun time. So make sure you have your at-home props with you, your books, blankets, pillows. Option today to use a strap if you would like to when we're lying down at the start of our practice. So just keep that nearby if you do want to use that as an option. And of course you can use your tie, belt, anything else you have to hand instead. So whenever you're ready, we're going to get started lying down on the ground, finding a comfortable shavasana to start. So just really snuggle into this space. Notice where you want to have the legs, where the arms want to be. And take a couple of moments to make any last fidget, itch, shuffle that you need to do before coming to this space and finding this stillness, arriving here on our mat. Taking a deep breath in, a deep breath out. And 2 more times, deep breaths. One more time, in and out of the nose. Nice. And returning to your natural rhythm of breath, observing this. Noticing this space in your body where you feel your breath the most, and connecting to this anchor. It keeps us grounded to this present moment, so whenever we wander, our mind trails off, we jump off the mat, can we come back to this anchor, wherever we are in our practice, whatever pose we're in. And noticing how our anchor might have changed, so being really aware of this space. Releasing any tension from the shoulders, the jaw, the cheeks, the forehead, the brows. And just releasing anything that you might be holding around the stomach and the pelvic space, the front body, the back body, down the arms, down the legs to the fingers and the toes. And set an intention for your practice ahead. And although we're going to be engaging and activating some of our main muscle groups and really lighting a little fire in the belly and in the lower body and the upper body, can we do so with a sense of ease? So marry the sthira to the sukha, the effort to the ease. Although we are putting effort into our practice, can we do this with a softness? Being kind to ourselves, to our bodies, and simply being with our breath and our anchor. Everybody bringing their hands now to that space where you feel your breath the most. And finding 3 full breaths here. On your last exhale, release the arms, inhaling next to send the arms behind you, reach your way through the fingertips and through the heels. As you exhale, softening 2 more times, inhaling to reach, really lengthen out long. Exhale to soften once more. And exhaling, releasing the arms, option to open the eyes now as we hook the right leg in Interlace the hands to the right shin, curl the knee towards the nose, rounding through the spine. And releasing. Option to take your strap if you have one here. I'll give you an option for if you don't. So we'll take the strap behind the center of the right foot. And then we're lengthening the right leg nice and long. And if you don't have the strap, you can just take the hands to the hamstring. If you have lots of space, maybe to the calf or the back of the ankle. But wherever we are, if we notice our glute sliding off the mat and curling off, can we really notice that? And maybe release our hands a little bit so we can keep this space grounded on the earth and just float the toes towards the face. So we're getting this length in the back of the leg. And just breathing softly here, bending the knee as much as you'd like to. So I've got quite a small bend, but you can bend it a lot more if that feels good for you. Listen to your body and find your own practice. Nice. Then if you have a strap, taking them both sides to the right hand, everybody bending the knee towards the right armpit, keeping the foot kicking towards the sky, finding half a happy baby pose. Hands either on the strap or the back of the hamstring, calf, or this time outer edge of the right foot. Listen to what feels good for you. Breathe here. And just really gently rock the knee from side to side, oiling through the hip joint. And then releasing the strap from the right foot, placing it down to one side and hugging the left leg up and in, hands interlace, curling the forehead towards the knee, rounding, taking a breath in. As we breathe out, releasing, taking the strap if we have one, and taking it around the center of the left leg, or just lengthening and kicking the heel towards the sky, hands on the hamstrings or the calf, back of the ankle, keeping everything in the upper body nice and soft. Lovely. One more breath here. Therefore, bending the left knee generously in towards the armpit. Taking the left hand to the hamstring, calf, or outer edge of the foot. If you have your strap, doing the same, taking the strap both sides into the left hand. And really being present with how one side might feel different to the other. So listening to this, taking what support you need to, rocking the knee really gently from side to side. And then coming all the way back to center, bringing both feet onto the ground, hands plant either side of us. As we curl the tailbone off the earth, we'll root down through the hands and the feet to help us rise, peeling the spine off the mat, and then rolling all the way back down. Lovely. 2 more times, really rolling like a wave as we lift off and release back down once more, just waking up the spine. But this time, when we get to the top, staying there. Lifting the left heel off the ground, just the left heel. And bringing it down and lifting the right heel off. And we're just marching on the spot here. Starting to find this connection to our center as we keep our hips as level as we can. So notice if we're finding this drop here and really encouraging the stability. Also getting some help from our glutes and hamstrings as well as our deep abdominals as we keep marching here. Option to float the arms back behind you if there's space. Lots going on here, so really ease into this. And one more time, marching on each side. Before releasing the arms and rolling the spine down onto the earth. Keeping the pelvis and lower back space rooting down as we lift both feet. Shins come parallel to the sky. Reaching the arms towards the sky here as well. Keeping the feet soft, hands nice and soft. Breathing in. Breathing out, tapping the right toes down in front of us on the mat. And lifting back up. Then tapping the left toes down. And if we feel okay here, notice if our lower back's arching off the mat, can we hug our thighs a little bit closer towards us? And if we feel comfortable, we might like to send the opposite arm and the opposite leg back. Nice. And if we feel comfortable here, adding on, lengthening the leg as we tap down. Nice. And if we've been practicing this for a while, we have another option to send both arms, both legs back at the same time. But always keeping aware of this space around the lower back as we connect to all of the different muscles that make up our deep abdominals, our core center. Breathing wherever we are, taking your practice at your own pace. We'll find 2 more breaths here. And everybody meeting with the shins parallel to the sky, hands interlaced behind the head, lifting the head, neck and shoulders off the mat. We'll find a few yogi bicycles just a few times on each side. Bringing the right elbow towards the left knee and lengthening the right leg. Coming back to center, elbows wide, left elbow to right knee, lengthening the left leg. Nice. 2 more times to each side. And bringing the elbow towards the knee rather than the knee towards the elbow. Notice, are we still breathing here? Lovely. Last time. And then coming all the way back, hugging the hands to the hamstrings, chin towards the knees and the chest, breathing in. Breathing out, starting to roll up and down the length of the spine. Take as many rolls as you want to here. And we'll come to meet in a tabletop, all fours, with our wrists beneath our shoulders, knees beneath our hips, spreading the fingers wide, reaching down through the palms and through the tops of the feet. And curling the tailbone down, we'll roll through the spine, reaching it towards the sky, dropping our gaze, cat pose. And moving with your breath, lifting the tailbone, tummy floats down, gaze lifts forwards, cow pose. Moving 2 more times here. Maybe you waggle your tail from side to side, keeping this micro bend in the elbows. Nice. Once more through cat and cow, just wakening up the spine. Really noticing what you feel here. The spine cresting and falling like a wave. And coming back to our neutral spine, we'll float the right leg long off the ground, sending away through the heel. And then reaching the left arm forwards. Notice if we're collapsing into our left hip. Can we really reach away and out of the hip? Maybe bringing the leg a little lower and making sure that we aren't destabilizing by lifting the hips so that they're uneven. Breathing in as we reach away. Breathing out, curling the knee towards the elbow, rounding through center. Moving with your breath as we reach away and curl through. Nice. 1 more time, reaching and curling through. Coming to reach all the way back out as we bring the left hand down, step the right foot straight forwards, coming to a lunge, finding a nice wide stance. Option to keep the back knee on the ground or tuck the toes under, lift the back knee off. Everybody bringing the palms together at the heart wherever you are. Taking a breath in. As we breathe out, sending the left hand down to our brick or to the earth. Right hand to the rib cage as the ribs open to the right and hand reaches towards the sky. Noticing the front knee in our twist as it's playing out or in. Can we keep it over the front ankle? And coming all the way back to center, arms reach high, and then releasing, framing the front foot, stepping back to our tabletop. And then sending the left leg back behind us, right arm reaches away in front. Finding your sturdy foundation here first, before curling the knee towards the elbow, rounding through center, and opening 2 more times. Nice. This time as you reach, we'll plant the right hand and step the left foot forwards. Keeping the back knee lowered or lifting it up, hands come together at the heart. If the back knee is lifted, really sending away through the back heel. As we float the right hand down, left hand spirals the ribs open and reaches for the sky. Taking a nice breath in here. And out, one more breath. Before floating back to center, arms reach high and releasing. Stepping back, tabletop, tucking the toes under, sitting back on the heels. Reaching the arms forwards, finding a nice long spine. And as we press down through the palms, we'll float the hips up high, downward facing dog. Pedaling through the heels, bending the knees generously to find this length through the spine. Notice your breath here. Notice where your anchor is in this posture, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Notice how it might have changed. Finding one more breath before walking, stepping or hopping the feet forwards into a fold, feet hips distance apart. Rolling from side to side, gently swaying with the knees bent. Coming back to center, inhaling to lift up halfway, your version of a flat back. I'm finding airplane wings here. You might have the hands on the thighs, shins or fingertips on the earth. On your next exhale, fold forwards, root down through all four corners of the feet to slowly rise up. Stacking the spine, one vertebrae at a time, head and neck lift last of all. Then arms float wide, we reach for the sky, gaze up. Hands together at the heart, sending the sitting bones behind us, bending the knees, coming to chair pose, Utkatasana. Nice, feeling the foundation through the feet, the weight spread evenly. Noticing the length we're finding through our spine, from the tip of our tailbone to the crown of our head. And from our chair pose, we'll lift our left heel off the ground, just the left heel. And float it down, lifting the right heel. And down, finding that march that we did on the ground. We're keeping our hips as level as we can. So finding the stability as we connect to our center. Nice. Breathing. One more time on each side. Before coming back to your chair pose and folding forwards. Nice. Now taking the hands either side of the feet, lifting onto support from your at-home props if you'd like to, as we step the right leg straight back on a nice wide diagonal stance. So we can keep the hands here and lift them as high as we want to, because everybody's keeping the back knee off the ground here, so take what space you need. You can bring the hands to the hips, but that is a little bit more of a challenge, so find where there's space. And if we don't want to use the props, we can find an airplane lunge, reaching the fingertips behind us, finding lots of space between our shoulders and our earlobes. Keeping the front knee over the front ankle, back heel sending away energetically. Finding one more breath here. And then option for the last couple of breaths to lift the front heel off the ground. Nice. And then bringing the hands back, stepping forwards into our fold, releasing the stomach down towards the thighs, bending the knees as much as we like to, and then planting the hands again as we step the left leg back. Nice wide stance in our lunge. Lengthening through the spine wherever the hands are. Finding this stability, engaging our center, engaging the lower body. Everything here is creating a little bit of fire in our body. Taking a breath in and a breath out. One more breath as we are. An option to lift the front heel off the ground. Notice how this changes the dynamic in the body. Finding one more breath. And then releasing. Stepping into our forward fold, planting the palms, both feet back, downward facing dog. Taking our feet nice and wide, hands wide, fingers spread on the mat. Bending the knees, gorgeous. Inhaling. Exhaling. And everybody bringing the forearms down to the ground. So we're keeping our hips lifted in our dolphin pose. And then nice and slowly, we'll walk our feet a little bit further back as our hips travel down, hovering off the earth into a forearm plank. So keep sending away through the heels. If we want to, we can come down onto the knees. Really listen to your body. Wherever we are, bending the left knee, lifting the leg off the ground as we hover it forwards towards the left elbow. And step it back, lifting the right leg off, bending the right knee, hovering it forwards, right elbow. And coming all the way back. Nice, breathing in. Breathing out, releasing the hips down to the earth, taking the feet nice and wide as we stay on the forearms, elbows underneath the shoulder space. Pressing down to rise up, lifting the heart space forwards, Sphinx pose. We find a bit more space between our shoulders and our earlobes again. Bringing the left shoulder to the center, gazing past our right. And then right shoulder to center, gazing past our left. Floating all the way back, releasing down so our hands come towards the back of our head. We'll keep the heart lifting forwards, really connecting to this strength in our back body. As we glide over to the right side. Nice. And through center, gliding over to the left. Keep lifted. Coming all the way back, reaching our arms behind us. And then swimming them out wide to the side. Option to stay at any of these bus stops if this feels where we need to be today. Or maybe we travel the arms forwards. Keep lifting. Maybe the toes and feet stay on the ground, or we lift off here. Listen to where there's space and strength, breathing. One more breath wherever we are. Before releasing, planting the hands down by the rib cage and slightly lifting up, coming straight back to a child's pose, knees wide, big toes to touch. Softening back down, rounding through the spine. Really know where your anchor is in your child's pose. So whenever we pause, it's the perfect opportunity to reconnect to our breath if we lost it during our practice at all, if our mind has wandered or anything like that. So just taking a breath here. Before reaching back up, tabletop, tucking the toes, sitting back on the heels, reaching the arms, and making our way to our downward facing dog, leading with the hips. Hips float high, even higher. Nice, breathing in, breathing out, coming back onto our forearms, dolphin pose, strengthening the shoulders, and then walking the feet back, coming into our forearm plank. Now from here, we're going to turn our left arm out. So we rock onto the outer edges of the feet, coming into a side forearm plank. So we can keep our hand on our hip here, and we can always come down to the knees. Know that the knees are an amazing option to grow your practice and to grow your strength. Nice, and then wherever we are, we're going to lift the right arm towards the sky, and then bend the elbow and bend it towards the right knee, curling through the center and opening, reaching and curling. Nice, one more time, coming all the way towards the center and reaching, nice. Coming all the way back to your forearm plank and then turning the right arm out as we rock onto the outer edge of the feet again, turning to the opposite side. Hand comes to the hips, knees lifted or lowered. Finding a sturdy base here, elbow beneath the shoulder. And then reaching the arm, or bend the elbow, bend the knee towards the center. Nice, reaching away and curling through, keeping the hips lifted. One more time. Lovely, floating back, forearm plank, taking a nice breath in. And as we breathe out, hips float down, feet come wide, we lift into our Sphinx pose, heart space floats forwards, breathing in. Breathing out, releasing, hands come back by the rib cage. As we press down lightly, we'll send the shoulders around and back, lifting the heart, this time baby cobra. Just use the hands there for support rather than to crank into this posture. And then releasing all the way down, lightly pressing through the palms, we come back up, tuck the toes under, make your way to downward facing dog. Walking, stepping or hopping the feet forwards, finding a fold. Feet hips distance apart, inhaling to lift up halfway, your version of a flat back. Finding length, exhaling to fold. Rooting down to rise up, arms reach for the sky. Palms come together down at the heart, sending our sitting bones away. Chair pose, keeping this length. Option to send the left heel off and then the right again, or maybe this time we explore lifting both heels off. What I like to call in my class is a flying chair. You can take any variation in the arms, maybe cactus arms, perhaps airplane wings reaching away. Wherever we are, notice the breath. Notice your anchor, connect to your center. Nice. Breathing in. Breathing out. Everybody bring the heels down. Take your weight to the left leg. Lift the right leg just off the earth. Hands together at the heart. A one-legged chair pose. Really feel the connection to the earth through the left foot. Left toes nice and soft. And then lengthen the leg as we lift the right knee. Standing one-legged mountain pose. And maybe we stay here. Or option to take hold of the right foot with the right hand. Again, perhaps we stay here or take the right hand to the inside of the right foot. And as we lengthen the left arm forwards, we'll reach as we find this extension through our spine like we did in our Sphinx and our Cobra pose. Keep this extension as we lightly kick the foot into the hand. Finding some space that we've explored through our hip flexors. Lengthening through the spine, keeping the standing knee nice and bent. Breathing here, taking your gaze on something in front that isn't wavering. Keeping the hips nice and level. Breathing in, breathing out, softening. Coming back to your chair pose, planting the feet firmly. Hands together at the heart, then taking the weight over to the right leg. One-legged chair. Now we can always come to the wall for support in our balancing poses. Connecting to the center, we lengthen the right leg, reaching tall. Notice if the shoulders have crept up near the ears, can we release them? As we maybe take the foot to the hand and then flip the grip to the inside. As we reach forwards, we lengthen, finding extension, lightly kicking back. So many different things going on here, so if you're not here today, that's okay. Just trust the process, trust your practice, enjoy where you are. If we fall, don't worry, the ground's always there to catch you, just smile and come back in whenever you're ready. Breathing in, breathing out, one more breath. Before releasing and coming back, mountain pose this time. So taking the feet, hips distance apart, toes track forwards, knees bend softly, shoulders away from the ears, arms down by our sides. Just take a breath. Notice what you can feel. Know where your anchor is. Feel your breath. If you want to bring the left hand to the heart, right hand to the stomach, then I invite you to do so. Feel your heartbeat. On your next exhale, smiling. And releasing the arms, bringing the chin towards the chest as we roll all the way down into a forward fold. Hugging opposite hand to opposite elbow, swaying from side to side. And then releasing the hands to the earth, stepping or coming back straight into down dog or child's pose. Choose your own adventure. If you're in down dog, floating around, finding any movement you want to here for 3 breaths. And then everybody coming to meet in balasana, child's pose. And find a child's pose that works for you. If the knees out wide, toes together, brings some fussiness at all, maybe you explore bringing the knees closer towards each other. Maybe the arms come behind you. And maybe this just doesn't feel good at all. So if ever you want to, just come to a comfortable seat of your choice. We'll find one more breath here together. And then slowly lifting up, but we'll reach the arms forwards. As we come onto the knees, we'll walk them a little bit further back, keeping the hips lifted, finding Anahata Asana, heart to earth pose. So we're lengthening through the spine, but bringing our heart space down towards the ground, also known as puppy posture. We're keeping the hips lifted, feeling this release in the torso, wherever you feel this. Just really notice the sensations. Bring any support underneath the forehead if you'd like to. And then walking back onto the palms, finding a tabletop, but really take your time, there's no rush here. As we get to our all fours, we'll float the left hand high. And then thread it through and under the bridge of the right arm, resting on the left ear. If we need support underneath the left ear, take what we need, bring the earth up to us. We're threading the needle, so we can bring the right hand and keep it on the ground here, or if we have a bit more space, it might feel comfortable to bring it to the small of the back. So notice wherever you are. Finding one more breath here, sending so much love to our thoracic spine. Before planting through the right palm, rising all the way back up and releasing. Threading our needle on the other side, so rooting down through the left and reaching through the right. Nice. As we exhale, float all the way through and under the left arm. Finding your version of this posture. One more breath before pressing through the left palm and rising. Lifting back out and releasing. Scooting the legs to one side, we'll come through to sit in the center of our mat. And we're going to create a little bit more fire in the belly, a little bit more agony, so stay with me here. We're going to bring the hands to the hamstrings as we lift the heart, finding this length through our spine. And rocking back onto the tailbone, bringing the toes to the earth. We have a few options here in our Navasana. We might like to stay here or lift one shin parallel to the sky at a time. Or lifting both shins. Maybe we lengthen the legs. Maybe we keep the hands here, or maybe we reach them out either side of the legs, but keeping the heart lifted, shoulders away from the ears. Maybe the hands come to the heart space. Can we breathe here? I invite you to close the eyes or soften the gaze. Feel what you feel. Where is your anchor? Maybe your center that we've been waking up already like a washing machine, and that's okay if it is. It doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're strong. Breathe here. Finding one more breath. Therefore, releasing the feet to the earth. Reaching the hands forwards and peeling the spine down onto the ground, slow as you can go. Reaching the arms back whenever you get there. Do this in your own time. And then we're going to reach the arms forwards and peel the spine back off. If you need to use any support from the floor, your mat to grow this, then do so. And peeling back down. Are we still breathing here? And your last time reaching up, take a nice breath in. And we'll come down to the ground. Everybody meeting there. Keeping the knees bent. Taking the feet as wide as the mat. Windscreen wiping the knees over to the right. And over to the left. 2 more times to each side. Move at your own pace. There's no rush. And whenever you've finished, come back to center, curl into a tight ball, rounding the forehead towards the knees. Everything reaches like a football. Breathing in, breathing out, finding one more breath here. As you exhale, release the legs, release the arms. Come to find your final and most precious resting posture. Shavasana. Softening everything into the earth beneath you. Taking away any tension, any effort, and finding that ease, that softness. Either staying here with the arms as they are or bringing them onto the stomach, sending some love to this gorgeous space we have. We often send a lot of hate to, so really just taking a moment here to send some well-deserved love and attention to your stomach space, to the deep abs, to to the side of the stomach, your love handles, your muffin top, to where all of the organs are helping keep our body running and alive. Feeling our diaphragm as we breathe in and out. Smiling. Breathing. Accepting. And thanking. Staying here for as long as you would like to. And if you have to boogie, I invite you to bring the hands together at the heart if that resonates. Honoring the divine light in each and every one of us, practicing wherever you are in the world on your mat. From my heart to yours, Namaste.